Swan Lake is a great classic, and as a dancer, I've lived and breathed it since I was 16. It has a magic that's enchanted audiences for generations.
It's about an unattainable love, something that's almost impossible to have.
It's very thunderous, isn't it? You could say he's a great dramatist.
Swan Lake is a golden marriage between dance, choreography, and music.
Okay?
For me and for every new ballerina, learning the steps of Swan Lake is like a journey through time, reaching back generations to relive the magic that was created over 100 years ago. This is the story of the most popular ballet ever.
The heart of Swan Lake is that moonlit, flooded world where Siegfried and Odette first encounter each other. And you do feel this extraordinary transition from the real solid world into this kind of strange place where everything's possible, where everything's shadowy, and where these beautiful women have been transformed. And you know that Prince Siegfried is never going to be the same again.
The magic is a huge element. This evil magician who can turn himself into... He's a trickster, he can turn himself into an owl, he can be anything. And he can turn you into a swan if you're not careful. And after all, poor Odette is condemned to be a swan forever unless she finds someone who can love her.
Swan Lake was born in Russia, and it was here in St. Petersburg at the Mariinsky Theatre that it became a big success. Over a century later, the company formerly known as the Kirov is rehearsing their classic production, which has been specially recorded for the BBC. The conductor is Valery Gergiev. The world-famous maestro is no stranger to Tchaikovsky, but this is his first ever Swan Lake.
The secret of conducting Tchaikovsky, especially the most popular Tchaikovsky, is your ability to shape the phrase. All the naivety, all the dreamy poetry, all the danger, all the evil character, but all of it.
For the dancers here and for the Prima Ballerina, Uliana Lopatkina, dancing Swan Lake is a rite of passage. The ballet is considered the ultimate test for becoming a ballerina.
When I was studying at the ballet school, I never imagined that I would dance in Swan Lake. I didn't dare imagine it. I wasn't so bold as to think that I would ever be capable of dancing Swan Lake on the stage of the Mariinsky.
over the world, dancers aspire to learn Swan Lake. And in Richmond, London, the next generation is already in training. The Royal Ballet School is where I first learnt to dance Swan Lake. The girls wanted me to show them Odette's first steps.
And bum. Then you can do a rond-jambe, swish, rond-jambe, out, and down, swish, up.
So much of Swan Lake is about perfecting the choreography.
You go down, and I look just there, because if you look any higher, you'll throw yourself back, and you want to get over the leg. So you rond-jambe, releve, and...
As a ballet as a whole, would you dream of doing this ballet yourself? Is it the story or...
The music.
The music.
Yes.
You love the music. You're right.
Sounds like what you're actually dancing.
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel. You could listen to music and it could actually tell you what the steps are. It sort of also tells the story at the same time, doesn't it?
Swan Lake is a tragic story of a young prince who falls in love with a swan, or rather a princess, called Odette, who has been turned into a swan by the evil magician, von Rothbart.
It starts in a beautiful castle in Germany where a young prince, a very handsome young prince, is just turning 21 years old.
His mother gives him a crossbow for his birthday. So he goes hunting in the forests.
And there's a lovely lake. And it's sort of midnight-ish, I think.
He encounters this extraordinary magical flock of swans, and at their head is this extraordinarily beautiful woman.
Odette tells the prince that she's under a terrible spell.
In order for the spell to be broken, he has to declare his undying love for Odette.
In the mime version, she tells him that... I've got to remember the mime now.
In the versions of Swan Lake I have danced with the Royal Ballet, we use mime in the scene where Odette first meets the prince to explain the spell she's under. Here the Italian star Roberto Bolle is playing the prince.
And of course, at the beginning of the mime, it's very important that she is very scared of him. So she's letting out a lot of her feelings by telling him her story.
Tell me more.
I'll show you that over there is a lake of my mother's tears. But over there is one who is evil that made me a swan. But if one loves, marries, and swears, then I will be a swan no more.
You want to get a little bit more urgent.
My coach, Donald McCleary, danced the prince in Swan Lake many times in the 1960s with the Prima Ballerina Margot Fonteyn.
Do you remember when Margot did it? She said, once you start talking, you can't stop.
Yes, exactly.
You know, once she gets the confidence and she knows that he's not going to shoot her, yes, she starts telling him everything, her whole life.
When I first danced Odette, I was lucky enough to be coached by Margot Fonteyn. Here she is dancing in 1954.
But you don't swear you're going to love her now. He should really say, I love you.
I love you straight away.
Yes, but
then the ballet would be rather short.
The ballet would be over.
Yes, it would be rather short.